Hi, I'm Matthew David Fritz, and welcome to another IGTV episode where we go under the hood to look at the nuanced techniques of Chords of a Man music. Today I'm going to use one song from our latest album to illustrate 4 different techniques. We're going to kill four birds with one stone. These techniques are, number 1, open tuning on the guitar. If you notice when I play the guitar, I don't play like most people play when they're moving their fingers around the neck like this. I play like this. Why do I do that? Well, in part because I had a woodworking accident in which I lost 2 fingertips, and now this left hand cannot do the same things that most people can do. So I can't reach the same chords the same way. They get in the way of the strings, and it just doesn't sound good at all when I'm playing like that. So I retune the guitar so that just strumming it with no hand on the neck gives you a C chord. And then one finger will give you a major chord. Depending on where you put it, it gives you a different major chord. 2 fingers will give you a minor chord. And then there are other variants as well. So I could play everything that, and even more things than most guitarists can play. I just have to figure out where they are on the neck. But it's very easy because the patterns are always the same. So all our songs, all the Chords of a Man songs that you've ever heard that have a guitar in them are played in open C tuning. So that allows me to experiment when writing, and I come up with a lot of neat patterns based upon that most people just don't run into because they're not playing it that way. And one of the patterns that I use a lot involves surprise chords. So that's our second thing that we're going to look at. Surprise chords. Those are chords that are not in the key that the song is written in. So, for example, in 6 Paces, which I played in open C, in the key of C major, I used the surprise chord of E major, which typically in a C you hear C, you hear F, G, and back to C. And you can also hear, the relative minors as well. But you don't hear an E major. It's not in the key of C. It's a surprise chord if you throw it in there. It's called the major mediant, if you really want to know, but it doesn't belong in there. But I used it, and I use it a lot in several of our songs. You'll hear it in songs like Sarah. Sarah, you're beautiful, conspire to spare my soul. So it's in there. It's in several songs. But in this case, in 6 Paces, I used it from the very beginning. It goes like this. So I start with that E major, and then I resolve it all on the C where it's supposed to start and end, but it doesn't start there. So that's my surprise chord. And I use it a lot because it's so easy with this open tuning to just, find all these surprise chords. So that's why I use them. But that leads me to another technique, and that is odd meters. I use a lot of odd meters. I've had other videos where I showed you quintuple meter, which is 5 beats per measure. But in this song, 6 Paces, it's so unique. It actually has 10 beats per measure. You could split it in half to 5 beats per measure and make it quintuple meter, but it's really hard to count it out because most of the string plucks don't land on a beat if you count 1 through 5. But if you count to 10, it's very easy on one hand to count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just break it into 3 plus 7 equals 10. And I've trained this hand to train my fingers to count. So as I'm playing these odd meter songs, I'm actually counting using my fingers. So all of our odd meter songs are played pretty much on a guitar alternate picked with just the fingers because it's just easy to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's easy for me because I had to train myself to do it. It wasn't easy at first. And I could do 7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or I could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's just, so as I'm playing, I'm counting. But in this song, 1, 2, it goes 10 beats per measure, or 5 if you want to make it very complicated, but it's easier to make it 10. And that is unique in itself because not many songs are written in 10 beats per measure or decuple meter. Hardly any, that I could think of. Well, there's one I could think of, but, not popular. There's nothing that's ever been popular that was written. Shouldn't say nothing, but, it's very rare. So the other interesting thing about this song, and this is the fourth thing, is there is a deceptive cadence in it. And the deceptive cadence is this. The pre-chorus of the song, it has this diatonic ascent, starting with D minor, then goes to D minor, and then it goes to the F. And you can feel the tension building, and then it goes to the G, which is the dominant chord in the key of C. And that's supposed to resolve into C again. But the deception is this. It goes back to E major. See? I'll go through the progression again. D minor, E minor, F. And you're getting to that dominant, and it's supposed to resolve, but you were deceived. Instead of going to the root, it resolved in a surprise chord, the E major or the major median. So that was our trick. Those are our basically 3 or 4 tricks that we implemented in that one song. This one song, 6 Paces, listen to it. It's really unique. It's what we call musicians' music, meaning that if you listen to it as without having any understanding of music theory, you won't think anything of it. You may not even like it. You may think, whatever. But if you try to play it, you'll be very shocked to find out all of the things that are out of the box, outside the box on this one. So it doesn't always make for the best music, but it does make interesting music, which is why we call it musicians' music, because musicians are interesting. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you next time on another episode.